now it's time for a bit of music. And what a year it's been for the industry. After years of enforcing copy protection using digital rights management, we've started to see some of the big music labels turn away from DRM. More and more music providers are experimenting with other ways to make money other than just selling the tracks. Music legend PeterGabriel has his own ideas on how the industry should adjust to the digital world. And back in May, he shared them with Richard Taylor.
Nestled in the Wiltshire Hills is the Real World recording complex. This, in fact, is PeterGabriel's world. In one corner, private hideaway. In another, state-of-the-art studios, which he hires out to other artists who record on his Real World label, and which he himself uses to record his own hits. In many ways, Real World is the physical embodiment of a remarkably rich musical career spanning 4 decades. Not just as a hugely successful artist, but more recently as a visionary who's put his money where his mouth is as the digital age rocked the music industry to its core. In 1999, he co-founded OD2, a venture used to host the tracks sold by the emerging download services. He subsequently sold it, but it's now used by most of Europe's online music retailers. Please don't give up. Then came the Filter, an iTunes plugin which helps you find the gems buried in your collection. And now he's taken yet another step where most others have feared to tread. When it launches next month, We7 offers us a Faustian pact. Download the music you want for nothing, and in return accept a 10-second targeted advert grafted on the front of it, at least for the first few times you listen to the song. There's no restrictive copy protection. In fact, sharing is actively encouraged. So everyone wins, including, crucially, the artist, who gets a share of the ad revenue. So, what was the thinking behind the service? An issue that was best treated from the comfort of Peter's garden shed turned writing room. Why are we seeing We7 now?
I think it is because of the this acceptance that really a lot of people under the age of 30 do not buy music anymore. And I think record executives are noticing their kids doing the same thing that every other kid is doing. And they and artists have to say, okay, well, how do we deal with this? If we can find a way to make advertising, which is really getting in bed with the devil in lots of ways, but if we can find a way to make it useful and entertaining and full of information, then perhaps we can get a model that secures an income flow that can be shared with musicians or the rights holders.
How big is that if, though? What kind of buy-in are you getting from the advertisers? What kind of feeling are you getting from them? And are you confident that they will be able to deliver to the kind of audiences that are going to be attracted to We7, the kind of adverts they're going to want?
I wouldn't say I'm confident. I'm very curious, and I'm a believer, clearly, as all the people involved in this venture are, that there is enough of an audience, enough music going to become available, and enough advertisers that will believe in it. But it's one of those things, we put it up there and see if it flies. If we can get it to work, there is a real source of income for artists, and I think it could be a real nurturing source of income in an area that doesn't exist.
But other areas in music downloading are being shaken up. This week, Apple, the £800 gorilla on the music downloading block, has released iTunes Plus, the fruits of a deal with EMI. It gives us downloads without digital rights management, DRM, which normally restricts the devices we can play our tracks on. Is this a sign the industry is ready to embrace a new era?
I think the move away from DRM is a big thing, and although some companies are resisting very hard at the moment, I think it's a little bit like King Canute sitting in the waves as the tide comes in. Record companies, including the majors, will have to act differently, and I think they've been a bit slow or nervous in accepting the old model is going, if not gone. But there are fantastic opportunities. Never before has someone with something to say, wherever they're born in the world, whatever language they speak, had the chance to to get to a global audience as quickly and as freely as they have and as inexpensively. And if you have really good focus, you have a database of fans, however small, you have a potential for an economy that will allow artists to survive.
Peter Gabriel and Richard Taylor in conversation back in May.